having crystal weapons, they do hit really hard. This is a battle that cannot be won. This is an excellent place to put on a ring of sacrifice. Priestess Salad of Thoroland, reporting for duty. I just had a French dip. It was a very good French dip, and I'm ready to play some Dark Souls Prepare to Die edition. Welcome back, everyone. Here, let's get right down to business. First of all, I have made my way back to the big cell, where our good friend Big Hat Logan has been imprisoned. Last episode, we found the key in the Duke's archives, so we should be able to rescue him now. But before we do that, let's take a look at the key we found. The giant cell once imprisoned countless maidens, but is now empty save for a few key persons. They struggle to uphold their sanity, as the horde of mistakes writhe at a fearfully close proximity. Yeah, the couple of them struggling to hold on to their sanity were the few that we put out of their misery here and got their miracles. Very sad bit of business, but in the end, we probably did them a favor. Enough of that, let's help out our buddy Logan. Hey, Big Hat. You're free. Again.
Oh, thank you very much. I'm saved. That makes twice. I must be sure to repay you. I will visit the archives. If I discover any new spells, I shall share them with you. Prepare to be impressed by the onward march of sorcery. Hello. Don't mind me. Go on ahead. I'll head out soon. I wish to lay down my plans before I visit the archives.
Logan, you sure about that? I mean, I keep leaving you to your own devices. You always say you're gonna be fine, and then you keep getting yourself locked up in a cage. This is twice now. Ah, well. Meddle not in the affairs of wizards, they say. What do we got here? Ooh, looks like they had a Firekeeper locked up at some point. Well, Firekeeper's soul means better Estus. And there ain't nothing like the improved taste of extra special Sunny D. Alright then, here we are back at the bonfire balcony. By the way, the reason I started this video as jerky again was because I got invaded while setting up the video and getting synchronized. Ah well. Got my shit wrecked as usual. But no matter, that just means we won't get invaded now while we're doing all this stuff. Anywho, after rescuing Logan, if you head back to where the bonfire was and head into this section again and take this turn to the left, you'll find our good buddy has set up a little study corner for himself. Oh. And also there's a chest here. A blue chunk, not anything we're likely to make use of, but if you're making intelligent scaling weapons, could be valuable. Anywho, Logan, how are things going?
Hello there. I was expecting you. This place is truly magnificent, more than expected. As promised, I shall share the new sorceries with you, and the secret of Seath's immortality.
Cool.
The secret of Seath's immortality. If you have fought him and were imprisoned, you must know that Seath is a true undead, different from ourselves. His wounds close promptly, and no mortal blow affects him, granting true insulation from death. It is an effect of the primordial crystal, a sacred treasure pillaged by Seath when he turned upon the ancient dragons. so only by destroying the primordial crystal can you so much as scratch his hide. And it so happens the primordial crystal is in the inner garden of these very archives, the Crystal Forest.
Aha! So that's how Seath got his super healing factor without having the scales of immortality. Well, the gardens on the interior of the archives, that open grassy area with all the crystal golems, seems like a good place to start, so we're gonna have to track down that crystal and give it a good smashing so we can take on Seath right and proper. What else have you learned, Logan?
The tomes stored in these archives are truly magnificent, a great pool of knowledge, the fruits of superior wisdom and an unquenchable desire for the truth. Some would say Seath had an unsound fixation, but his work is a beautiful, invaluable resource. All progress demands sacrifice, and I certainly bear no antipathy for that wonderful scales piece.
Little sympathy for the devil there, Logan?
The tomes stored in all...
Yeah, I got that part. Anywho, let's see what some of the stuff he has for sale might be. A lot of it's fairly basic, stuff we've seen before. But now he's got some crystal stuff. Interesting. Crystal Soul Spear. Sorcery boosted by the knowledge Logan acquired at the Regal Archives. Fire-piercing Crystal Soul Spear. These pale magic spears, sharpened through crystallization, are on par with the armaments of the ancient lords. Well, I guess that all stands to reason. There's quite a bit of crystal-type stuff going on in this area, and I guess using it to augment the soul sorceries makes a certain sort of sense. And here we have Crystal Magic Weapon, which is the final upgrade in the series of 3 magic weapon spells. High magic plus crystallization on the right weapon. Logan's trials were successful, and the crystal medium facilitated a stronger bond between weapon and soul. This would be really nice to have. Unfortunately, it requires 10 more intelligence points than I actually have right now. But maybe someday. And Homing Crystal Soul Mass is an improvement on the standard Homing Soul Mass. And that appears to be all of the innovations for the moment. I'm going to pick up Crystal Magic Weapon. Could be good to have for a rainy day in case I ever have the brains to use it. And just because it's really expensive and we have the souls to spare, I'm gonna grab me a copy of Crystal Soul Spear. I will probably never be intelligent enough to actually cast it with Salad, but there is a method to my madness. Let's see, anything else I want to pick up while I have a little extra money to burn? Well, let's see what I have in terms of consumable soul items.
Come again. The knowledge here is limitless. I would absorb it, then share it with you.
Well, that's right decent of you, Big Hat. Let's have a look at those consumables that we have stockpiled. Well, we got some pretty good ones. We'll go ahead and cash them in and see what else we can afford. Just a little short of what we would need to pick up the Homing Crystal Soul Mass, but such is life.
Hello there. You really are very intelligent. Oh, I understand. We are in the midst of a revolution. The tone stopped.
Let's see, what else is for sale around here? We'll pick up a little more of the high-priced stuff. The Homing Soul Mass being definitely on the pricey side. And what's the next most expensive thing? Let's see, Well, we could always pick up some of the advanced soul arrow spells. And the basic soul arrow spell, and there is again a reason that I'm doing all this, but the rest of it will have to wait, because we do have to buy out Logan's entire inventory.
The tones stop. All prepare. Come again, anytime you please, for I too learn whilst teaching the student.
That's a really nice philosophy, Logan. I like the cut of your jib.
Hello there. Oh. The tones stop.
Okay, nothing else to say right now. Yeah, one of these days, possibly during the abridged second playthrough, I will probably want to get that crystal magic weapon ability eventually, because it is very nice. It is a very straight upgrade to our current magic weapon incarnation. Meanwhile, I have cleared out all the enemies in this immediate part of the archives, so I am going to take a stab at picking up Evelyn. I did check up on the method, and at least I know now where it has to be done, but the timing is still quite tricky, so I don't know if I'll succeed, but at the least I'll be able to show you how you're supposed to be able to acquire it, even if I don't manage it. So from the bonfire, you go straight across and up the stairs, up the left side here. And then when you get to the top of the stairs, you make a right. And I believe you go all the way to the top. Hopefully I'm remembering this correctly. Yes, I think I am. Okay. And then you go ahead from the very top of the stairs. You make a right through this hallway. And over here to this particular rotating staircase. Now you see down there where there's a chest on top of a bookcase? Target acquired. There are a goodly number of archers and channelers in this area, by the way, so you will want to be careful of what you're doing when you're approaching this area. I've pre-killed them so we can try this easily. So now what you want to do is turn this wheel, then head down the stairs, and fall onto the bookcase where that chest is. And that is the chest containing Evelyn. Easier said than done. Now, a good rough way of approximating the timing is to turn the wheel, then head down the staircase at a normal run speed immediately. I'm not talking like the sprint run that you hold down circle and it drains your stamina. But I'm just talking about regular run speed, where you just move the analog stick as far as it'll go. And that should be more or less correct timing, but it's still a bit fiddly, and so it's by no means a guarantee. But if you run straight down the stairs and off maybe a little bit to the right, you may just get it. So let's give it a go. Yep, I got a little hung up on the banister there, so yeah, I'm gonna miss. Well, you know what? Fuck it. I've had quite enough of that nonsense. And you see how you're supposed to get Evelyn, so I'm going to stop messing around with it. And we're going to take a quick run back to Firelink so I can level up that Estus. And I think we might have a friend hanging out there, I'm not certain. Oh, there we go. Let's see. Non-ridiculously giant sword. You must be Onion Sis.
Oh, hello again. We're both managing quite well, aren't we? I haven't found my father yet. Have you seen him?
Well, I've seen him quite a few times. Does that count?
Really? Then I must be off. I'm sure you've caused you trouble. You have a knack for that. If you just stay put. Really?
Oh, Siegmeyer's no trouble at all. He's a good buddy. Again, a little hapless, but I mean, we all have our foibles. Oh, a little side note about Sieglind. There is a bit of cut dialogue from Siegmeyer in which he says that she's not undead. So, you know, I don't know if that can be considered canon because it's technically not part of the final game, but I choose to believe it is the case, because my god, if that's true, then Sieglind is such a monster badass. Reason being, if she's not undead, that means she dies just like regular people, so she made it all the way into the Garden of the Duke's archives at constant risk of permadeath. Pretty hardcore.
That you have agreed to link the fire. I thank you sincerely. Finally, the curse of the undead will be lifted. And I can die human. I am powerless, but I will do all that I can. Please, save us all. Please.
That's why I'm here. And plus 4 Estus certainly can't hurt.
Forgive me.
Okay, I'll shut up now. Alright then. We are going to take a spin on back to the Duke's archives, and hopefully we will now be able to complete the area, because I am done screwing around with Evelyn. I think this should be the correct bonfire. Whoa, holy shit! 20 Estus. I guess that must be a reward from the firekeeper there. I guess maybe I never went back and visited her after the right flag was set, because I never noticed that before. And come to think of it, the fire back there did look really high. So I guess the firekeeper'd been busy. She'd stoked that shit up to an inferno. Well, I'm not going to complain about an extremely pumped up flask. In quality and quantity. Anyway, at this point we just need to head back to where we were before, in the outer gardens. Hi, buddy. Salad, what the hell? Why are you so crooked? It's turning into bad comedy. There we go. Also, I missed that there was a chest down here before, so we'll want to yoink that. Oh. Well, whatever's in here, I apparently have too much of it. Oh, you know what? I think that might be prism stones. If I recall correctly, they give you a bunch of prism stones here, but I maxed out on them at a previous shopping opportunity, so can't actually carry anymore. If I'm correct in my memory, which is never a guarantee. Let's clear out the golems a little bit. And our eventual goal is going to be down there toward the crystal caves. Although, as usual, they get some statistical bonuses for being later in the game. These golems haven't changed any behaviorally, so we can handle them much the same as we always have. Just requires a little more caution. There might be a minor treasure or two somewhere elsewhere in the garden, but nothing that I'm inclined to worry about. And we're gonna aggro a few more crystal fellers as we head down this way. Is this guy already onto our scent? I think he is, so I'm not going to bother arrowing him. And we'll just see if we can get him taken out before his friend decides to say hello. What are you doing, dude? I guess he doesn't know. Oh! He's on the run. I think that means he found us. But he seems to be having a little trouble actually pathing toward us. Well, maybe we can help him out. Or just shoot him full of holes, that works too. I don't know what's going on here. These are some very confused golems. But this is taking too long, so I'm just going to Leroy Jenkins this shit. You guys are really stuck, aren't you? That's better. Yep. Played it a little careless there, but hey, I've got 20 Estus. And down we go, into the crystal caves. No more golems chasing me, are there? Imminent tears. I hope not. This area isn't usually too bad. Mostly just crystal golems. And moonlight butterflies make a reappearance here as a regular enemy, but they don't aggro easily, so you can pretty much avoid them. Whoops. Oh, for Pete Squeaks. Let's try that again. You gonna attack or what? Thank you. Nearly happened again. Gotta mind that knockback. The terrain here is certainly a little on the tricky side, but just be conscious of your footing and you should be okay. And this is where, roughly, we are introduced to the main gimmick of the Crystal Cave, which is invisible floors. It's not as shitty as it sounds, though. As you can see, people can leave messages to show you where it's safe to walk, and you can also look at these little crystal snowflakes or whatever they are, and they will impact on the floors wherever they happen to be. And this is also the place in the game where prism stones are most useful, because you can always drop them around and see if they land on anything solid. And there's a pretty straightforward path here, which is the safest way to go. If you happen to need a blue slab, then there's a more roundabout path that you can follow that will lead you, around a couple of curvy invisible floors and eventually to a blue slab, but I really don't care about having a blue slab, so I can't be arsed. And there's a moonlight butterfly. I could fight it if I wanted, and I think they have a small chance of dropping blue slabs, but, yeah, as you can see, they do not aggro readily at all. Usually not at all unless you, walk right up to them or attack them first. Excuse me. My throat's a little seized up there. So yeah, I'm not gonna bother with them. Someone very kindly left some messages here. If you walk straight along this path, you'll be just fine. And that, I believe, it's hard to see the color here, but I think that is a gold crystal golem. But it's one that does not actually have a prisoner, it's just a stronger enemy for you to fight. Be wary of Fatty. Indeed. Hits hard as ever. And you do want to be wary here, because Fatty can definitely knock you off the path if he hits you at the wrong angle and gets some knockback on you. But we have swiftly eliminated that particular threat. And roads go ever, ever on. Mind the slant there. Oh, is that another gold one? I think it might be. But I don't think we need to go down there. I don't think there's anything really special about it. Except imminent fall, perhaps we're about to drop onto it. Yeah, I think we do need to go down there after all. Spoke a little too soon. We will just fight with care, as always. As always. As if I haven't gotten myself killed in a zillion and one completely careless ways. I can't remember if these crystal gold golems respawn or not. But hopefully I will not be back here again. Shit. Well, I suppose it had been a while since we last encountered the dread foe gravity. And I don't think I actually needed to do that after all. I think I could have just gone straight ahead here. Yeah, my soul pile is down there, but I think I'm just not gonna. There's been quite enough silliness already. I think I would rather just complete this area and continue onward. And I'm not getting snowflakes where I need them. Not entirely sure of the path here, so let's drop some rocks. Well, that already didn't work out. Man, I really don't remember this part very well. Yeah, let's back up and grab my soul pile after all. I'm not feeling confident right here. Besides, there's a treasure. And it's just another blue chunk. Kind of boring, that. Where the hell do I go? My memory, she is not so good. It's a little disconcerting the way the prism stones scream when they fall into a place where you can't go. Here's something. There was something. Little help here, get... God damn it all! Alright, looks like we've got a straightforward path. Hopefully this will be the last of such shenanigans. And fuck that soul pile. 20 G's ain't shit. Yeah, we can pretty much just go straight ahead here, and we'll be just fine. I really should have done that last time. And right around these parts, I believe we will start to encounter a new enemy type. I know there's some of them around here somewhere. There's one. Big freaky clams. With legs. And they... Oh, sweet Mary! Bad situation. Bad situation. One just snuck right up on me. Mostly they try and clock you with their shells, which can send you flying, as you saw. They can also poke at you with their legs, and every now and then they will try and just swallow you whole, which will really fuck up your equipment. Damn it. I'm clearly out of practice with dealing with these guys, because usually they're not nearly such a problem. Then again, usually I have the sense to fight them one at a time, and don't get myself nearly killed from behind. Okay, this time I'm going to keep calm and approach with caution. Now, where is the one that snuck up on me? I would prefer to avoid a repeat of that, if I might. Oh, there you are. One-on-one, I should be able to handle this. And although they are tough, they do have less poison than you would expect, so as you saw briefly there, it is possible to stagger them. Ha! There we go. Well, one thing that's nice about these guys is they are actually pretty generous about dropping Purging Stones and Twinkling Titanite. So they are an excellent enemy to farm Twinkling if you need some and don't want to farm souls for buying it. And if you're in higher risk of being cursed, they're a good source of Purging Stones as well. Yeah, you want to be careful when they do that slanted attack, because that is a situation where they're very likely to do a follow-up. And did you see that bit briefly where he kind of tilted at an angle, then did a sideways snap? That is their grab attack that will badly damage, if not outright break, much of your equipment. Also notice that they are full of skulls. Many victims of the giant clam. Looks like I'm staggering them with roughly every other hit. Hey, no OTGs. This is getting really embarrassing. Okay, that should either be the last one or close to it. I'm just gonna do a quick sweep of the area for treasures and possibly hiding clams. As I have amply demonstrated, being ambushed and murdered by a giant clam is a pretty embarrassing way to go. I don't think any of them are lurking about. And we do have a boss fight ahead. Let me check my loadout here. Great Combustion will be just fine. And for my off-ring, let's see what we've got here. I think just to be on the safe side, I'm going to take the Curse Bite ring. Yeah, that should be alright. This is a little tricky because on your first approach, there's no fog gate, and so the area that actually starts the boss arena is not clearly delineated. But if you fail the first time, which hopefully I won't, then you will have a fog gate here on future approaches. As you might expect, the boss we're going to face here is Seath, and he has a tail cut, which is kind of tricky to get. So what I'm going to do is see if I can't do a little trick and show you a relatively easy, if still somewhat tricky, way to get that tail cut. And you can see lots of statues there, which is an indication that this is an enemy with cursing abilities. Fortunately, we've come prepared for that. Oh, and by the way, this is why it's a good idea to make sure you take out all the clams before you start this boss fight, because you really do not want clams wandering in and pestering you while you're trying to deal with the boss. Good day to you, Mr. the Scaleless. Now that delicate structure right there is the primordial crystal, which can be destroyed with one hit, and can also be destroyed by Seath himself, and that's exactly what we want him to do. With his crystal laser, he has destroyed his primordial crystal, which momentarily stuns him, and so now we can go after his tail tip, and that is what we want to destroy is just the tip. Unfortunately, his tail is also his greatest melee weapon, so that is easier said than done. And if you don't pull it off during that initial period when he's stunned, then you're probably going to have a hard time getting the tail cut. I'll try it again. I'm using Great Combustion here because the fully upgraded Pyro hand makes breaking off his tail in just a hit or two relatively easy. But didn't work out. Okay. Clams baked. Curse Bite ring on. And maybe I should have attuned Power Within, but yeah, whatever. I'm not gonna worry about the tail cut this time. You get the Moonlight Greatsword if you successfully cut the tail, which scales with intelligence. So if you're a smarty mage type, that may be a good weapon if you want to swing around a big old sword. But I'm not going to worry about it. Let's just try and kill him this time. And Seath tends to be much easier if you're not worrying about the tail cut, because being behind him is actually about the worst place you can be, because that tail smash of his is really, really brutal. He's kind of a pretty fella, isn't he? Even if he doesn't have proper legs, which is a little disconcerting. Well, we do still have to start by getting around him and smashing his primordial crystal. So that's going to be job number one. Let's let him creep over a little this-a-way. I like his wings. And when he starts to get within attack range, we'll smash the crystal. And that'll stagger him for a moment so we can get in close. And right here close to his body is actually a pretty good place to be. Because his crystal breath tends to either cut a swath from left to right. You do have to be mindful of that blast of his, though. Standing in the crystals, as you can see, will cause curse build-up. and will also constantly damage you, so that's something to be careful of. But really, when you're in this close, his AoE blast is the main thing you have to worry about, because everything else is going to miss you. So you may want to run away when he ducks his head and starts to build up that AoE blast. Put some space between you and him so you don't get too mired in the crystals. They will disappear quickly enough. And Seath isn't very tough, he takes damage pretty quickly. Yeah, he's got that big crescent of crystals that he launches. And he's also got a more straightforward crystal breath, which just kind of moves in a line from him. But if you're a little off to the side, that can't hit you either, so it's really nothing to worry about. And as you can see, we've almost got him down, so really, if you're not worried about getting that Moonlight Greatsword, he's really kind of cake. So long, Mr. the Scaleless. And let us have a look then at our bequeathed Lord Soul Shard. Soul of the albino Seath the Scaleless, a fragment of a Lord Soul discovered at the dawn of the Age of Fire. Seath allied with Lord Gwyn and turned upon the dragons, and for this he was awarded dukedom, embraced by the royalty, and given a fragment of a great soul. Although just a piece, it will still satiate the Lord Vessel. Cool. I did it too, Ryder. And just for shits, we'll spark up this bonfire. Not that I actually need the Estus, having used only a small fraction of my 20, but what the hell. Now that Seath is gone, let's have a chat with Logan, see if he has anything to say about that. And we can also make some new purchases from him.
Oh, there you are. It's been a while. Or were you just here? This fascinating place defeats my sense of time.
Is that really what's going on here, Logan? Or, you perhaps going a bit dotty in your age? You okay there, Big Hat? You're sounding a little off. Yeah, let's just do a little commerce, okay?
Come again. The knowledge here is limitless. I would absorb it, then share it with you. Oh, then,
I'm starting to get a little concerned for our big-hatted friend. But, well, I just don't know what we can really do about that right now. For the time being, I think I'm going to head on back to Firelink, and we will prepare ourselves for our next destination. We've got 2 Lord Souls down, 2 left to go, and next up, we will be making our way to the Demon Ruins and Lost Izalith. perhaps then we can finally fulfill the request of Lady Quilana and put her mother, the Witch of Izalith, out of her long, long torment. Let's hope so. For now, this is Un, saying I do beg your pardon for my terrible performance this episode, and I will see you next time. Take care, and thanks for watching. A big Crystal Magic thank you to such supporters of I Played a Thing as Justin Carpenter, Nolden, Zangamarth, Anonymous Benefactor, Sanguine Games, Frank Greasy, Joseph Coco, John Madigan, Misha Van Doren, and Johnny Millennium. As January draws to a close, we will have a new crop of shoutouts very soon, so I look forward to saying thank you to the new folks, and until next time, this is Un, and I will see you very soon.